Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Salam.
Okey. Jelas ya?
Jelas.
Okey, kita masih lagi bersama petang ini bersama Dr. Hafizah Mat Nawi untuk meneruskan session ketiga iaitu session writing dan writing and prepare bibliometric paper which is mengenai content dan juga paper flow doktor. So saya persilakan doktor untuk meneruskan.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Asma. So before we start, just now siapa ya? Oh, Nurhuda Nabihan tadi. You suggested to share content and select file. Where to share it? Okay, let me share my screen and then you show me where should I click. Where to find the content? Kat mana ya?
Doktor nak share content slide ke?
No, because they want the slide.
Doktor nak share. Kalau doktor bagi saya slide, nanti saya akan emailkan kepada peserta.
Okey lah. Lepas habis kelas lah macam tu kan?
Boleh
Okay,
doktor.
Alright, let's continue with our the session 3. Okay, this is about the paper writing. Okay, so you have learned about how to search, okay, in the Scopus this morning. Okay, wait. How to search in the Scopus, and you have learned about how to type the search query, right? And then you learn about what can we extract, the data that can we extract from the Scopus itself, and how to save the data, why you want to save these two files. And then we learn about analysis itself, how to analyze using VOS Viewer and other housing publish and parish. Okay, so now, so you know the data, you have everything now with you. The last part is to write a paper. So what should you include in your paper, right? So basically, you must include all these 6 main subtopics. Okay, the first one, of course, abstract. Everyone knows about it. Okay, abstract, you have to begin with some people, they introduce the topic, or you may start with the problem statement. The statement, maybe 1 or 2 sentences should be enough for abstract. Okay, and then you continue with the research objective or research questions. It's up to you. Choose only one, and then discuss about the overview of the methodology. Overview only. It means in the methodology, you have to discuss everything here. But for the abstract, you have to include methodology as well, but the overview only. And then 1 or 2 sentences for the main findings. Okay, what have you found? Okay, for bibliometric type of study, what should you include the main finding? I will show you the template after this. And then at the end is the novelty, the contribution of your study. So this format is actually can be applied for or to every or all type of papers. And then section number 2, you must include introduction. So what should you put in the introduction? Normally, the author should establish a territory, establish a niche, and occupy the niche. What does it mean? So it means that you have to generalize the topic and review the previous studies. Okay, and you must know that in bibliometric type of paper, we normally not write in detail on the literature review. So you just overview of the previous study, overview of the review of the previous study, and discuss about the gaps in the in knowledge, and then you present the significance of the study. Okay, this and relate that to with your research objectives. Okay, at the end, as usual, you will have to state the structure of for the remaining sections. What will you discuss after that, and followed by what section, and at the end you will conclude it. All right, that will be for introduction. And then next, this is for the methods, the methodology. What should you include? Okay, for methods, you have to include everything. Whatever that you learn just now, since morning until 12 o'clock just now, you have to include everything. So in this part, you have to mention what database that you use. So today we are using Scopus database. Then you have to mention why. Okay, you have to justify whatever that you used in your as your methodology. You have to justify. Okay, so you may justify based on this. Why you use Scopus instead of Web of Science? Okay, and if you use both, then it will be better. Okay, and it's impossible to use Google Scholar. If you have time, then you will have to what we call create your own database for Google Scholar, because you have to extract one by one. Unlike for Web of Science and Scopus, they have prepared for us. We just extract the information and we just saved it. Okay. If you look at this, we know that Scopus database is bigger if compared to Web of Science. So that can be one of the reasons why you choose the Scopus database. And then you have to discuss about what have you done related to the Scopus itself. Yeah, okay, what query that you type in your search query, and filtering, what have you filtered, for example, like, okay, let me go back, starting from the search. Okay, search query, what have you typed? Okay, so you key in what for example, like just now I put financial readiness and so on. So this one you should include in your methods just now for section 3. Okay, and then what have you filtered? Okay, filtering, for example, like I want to choose 2018 until 2022 only. So you have to mention in your methods. Okay. Okay, that's the way lah. Or you want to choose on from social science only, for example, just now. Okay, this is we have a lot here, right? Author's name, we have the countries, we have the subject areas and so on, like we shared just now. So if you filter it, then you have to mention it here. Okay, mention everything in here. Export, what kind of what file have you export just now? You exported 2 files, right? So you save 2 files, the RIS as well as the CSV. So you mentioned it here. And how many documents in total? For example, just now 212, right? So you mentioned everything. Data cleaning process, how macam mana you buat, how so the flowchart, we will show the flowchart after this, and data extraction, data retrieval. You mentioned everything in methods, okay, methodology. So you mentioned about the data analysis, what software that you used to analyze the data. So we used Ogos and the Hafizah, right? and the last step will be interpretation. And then at the end, you may show the flow chart for the search strategy, starting from what have you saved, how many documents, and so on. I will share after this in our templates. Okay, next, number 4. Okay, this is results. Okay, how to present your result. So I suggest you present the results based on your research objective. We have 3 objectives. Then we present it in 3 ways. So in each objective you have sub objectives, right? This we call general, and we have the specific. For example, like we found out the data for major player, for example. Okay, major player, we're looking into 4 sub topics. Okay, so you will have to present one by one, and every table that you include in your paper, you must what we call elaborate it. All right. Okay, that's in result. And then some scholars, some researcher, they separate it between discussion and conclusion. Okay, some they include together the conclusions and recommendation, the discussion in the conclusions and recommendation. Sorry again. Okay, in this part, the author, the researcher must portray the novelty of your research. Okay, the first part, you relate the discussion of the objectives just now of the study, relate the discussion to the objectives, okay? And then you discuss the implication and shortcoming. Is there any limitation and so on? If yes, then what should you do? The suggestion, and maybe you may suggest the future research for this particular topic, okay? And at the end, you include as well the contribution of your study. So basically, you have to include everything here, then siap paper. Okay? But normally, if you have time, you may spend 1 or 2 days to prepare this type of paper. Sekejap aja sebenarnya, okay? But yeah, everyone knows that we are lecturers and most of us are very busy. Okay?
Doktor?
Yes.
Saya nak tanya je, tadi macam saya terlepas sikit yang first tu.
Okay.
Saya baca paper yang bibliometric ni, dia akan gabungkan banyak databases kan? Repository. Maksudnya dia bukan buat setakat satu saja, tapi dia gabung banyak. Ada Scopus, ada Webtime.
Okay, yeah, okay. That one, it depends. Okay, some researcher, they prefer to focus on one database only, or you may combine 2 database, Web of Science or Scopus database. Okay, we have several papers that I want to show.
Dia ada dalam untuk generate paper bibliometric ni, dia ada rules dia ke? Kena satu database atau 2 atau 3 sebagainya?
No. Tak ada. Like for example, this one. Okay, this is Scopus. Wait, this is Scopus. This is yes, Scopus, but also Web of Science. Okay, this one, tengok, they just use the Scopus. Okay, but most of the bibliometric ni dia guna Scopus. Some of them they combine. It's up to you. Okay, but you have to justify because it actually, if we look at the what we call this one, the one that I showed you just now, Scopus should be enough because Scopus covered the most. If our study is social science or business and economics and management, right? So Scopus is the green one, yani. They covered the most. If you compare with the Web of Science, dia sikit je. Scopus lagi banyak cover. Alright. So in terms of justification, should be scope. If you using the Scopus database, can be acceptable. If you want to combine both, lagi bagus sebenarnya. Alright. It's just that not every, like in Malaysia, not every university can access the Web of Science website. Okay, like UPNM, we cannot access it. So if you ITM memang boleh, I know. So I suggest better you combine Scopus as well as the Web of Science. Alright.
Tapi doktor ada setengah reviewer, paper reviewer, dia macam tak, dia ada satu paper saya pernah submit, dia cakap paper ni tak ada macam dia cakap tak ada value, sebab bila kita report, kita just report plain report, descriptive report. Maksudnya kita kan cakap this is the highest, the minimum. Tu bila dia baca, dia cakap paper ni just tak ada dia punya tu, tak tahu maksud dia.
No significant value.
Yes.
Alright.
So itu pun isu juga.
No, it depends actually. I don't know, but banyak yang even was Q1 pun ada bibliometric analysis. The bibliometric, it's like macam you want, of course everyone can, it's very easy to get data actually, but not everyone can conclude in one paper. So our task as a researcher, we conclude everything in one paper. So for example, if you are doing a bibliometric analysis for financial planning, so if someone wants to do a research on financial planning, so they can refer to your paper and dia boleh nampak siap-siap dah. So you have many, you mentioned in there what in terms of the country, in terms of the year, in terms of the subject area, yang mana kurang, yang mana lebih, right? So actually it's significant. I don't know why the reviewer cakap macam tu kan. So because there are a lot of WAS paper pun memang banyak bibliometric analysis.
Sebab dia cakap macam selalunya kita buat paper, kita kena ada result yang itulah, tapi kita hanya melaporkan saja. So dia tengok benda ni tak itulah impact, macam tak ada impact dia cakap.
Tak ada impact lah. Okay, that's why that this is the different type. If they want to say like that, if they want to comment on the systematic literature review, okay, systematic of literature, this is one kind of the research that kita boleh buat. If you look at the slide yang I shared, kita ada science metric, even science metric pun quite simple if compared to bibliometric. Bibliometric ini cover banyak juga. We covered everything, the arts metric, cybermetric, webometric actually. Look at science metric, dia cover even it. Tapi the science metric, for the science people, bibliometric is for everyone lah. For science metric, tengok dia cover sikit je. But the paper boleh pergi jauh juga. Alright. So because our research, the bibliometric is different from the other type of research paper, because this is one type of informatic type of paper. Memang akan beza. So in terms of significant, of course, significant, kalau if one paper, kalau if you have only one significant pun dah cukup sebenarnya. But if you want to have the very big impact, not even other type of research pun quite difficult to achieve lah. Right? Boleh. The paper that I showed you, this one, this is from Dr.
Boleh tak doktor share the best example for bibliometric paper ni? Mungkin boleh share dengan kami.
Okay, I have one. This yang ni I type dekat sini. This I think he is professor now. Dia ni from which one Try accounting. No, not this one. Okay. Okay, this associate professor, this Dr. Satish ni, dia banyak buat research on bibliometric analysis. And most of the papers yang dia buat tu Q1. Okay, Q1 paper. Q1 was paper. So, you tengok if 2000 you tengok banyak sangat bibliometric analysis yang dia buat. Ni bibliometric, most of the study bibliometric, and semua ni Q1 ni, semua Q1. I don't know why you mention about it's not significant. It's Q1, and some of the journals, Q1 journal, they want to have this type of bibliometric analysis paper. It means that, for example, journal ABC kan, if you tengok journal ABC, there is no bibliometric analysis for that particular journal. This is not the research topic bukan macam financial planning, Islamic economic no. This is related to that particular journal itself. Okay, for example ni, look at this topic. The journal is Journal of Accounting and Public. So the topic is the Journal of Accounting and Public Policy at 40. Okay, so a bibliometric analysis. This this person, he did a bibliometric analysis for this particular journal. Okay, so some yang ni systematic lah. Dia banyak. Kalau if you want to refer, I suggest you refer to this Satish Kumar, because most of his papers Q1 and was. Okay, it's more on accounting and finance. Dia banyak, dia SLR pun ada, bibliometric analysis pun ada. This if international speaker, most of the university invited him lah as a speaker for the bibliometric analysis, specifically for bibliometric analysis. Alright, so you boleh cari dalam ni lah. And I will share with you another two. Yang ni, this is the easiest way to follow for the beginner. Easiest way to follow the paper yang paling senang lah you nak follow. From our Dr. ID, he's the author for bibliometric analysis book. Dia ada buku on bibliometric analysis. So you may follow whatever the steps in this paper. All right. And we have one more. This is the easiest one as well to follow for the beginner lah. And under ID Ahmi as well. So you may follow. Very simple, tapi boleh masuk Scopus and WAS. Right? Because bibliometric analysis is the simplest type of paper yang kita boleh buat. Okay. And I have the template. Okay, for if you want to write a paper, for example, okay, tomorrow free kan? So you search as whatever that we learned just now dalam Scopus, and then you analyze using whatever.
Okay, 34, pineapple.
All right. And then, okay, this is the template. Okay, you may, I have highlighted everything here. So introduction, this can be an introduction as well as the problem statement, the sentence, and the objectives. And then we have methods. This is the overview. This we call overview of the method. And then finding, you may discuss about the findings. And then conclusion and contribution, the novelty of the paper itself. Okay. And then of course keywords. And then in the introduction, what should you include? Remember, for the bibliometric type, bibliometric analysis paper, it's okay not to include literature review. Okay, we don't want to review the literature. We just want to briefly discuss the literature in our introduction part. So generalize the topic and review previous study in the first paragraph, and then you discuss about the gaps in knowledge, and then come to the significance and relate right away to your research objective or the research questions. And then at the end, of course, the structure. Okay, so you may use this template, type the dalam ni, and then you may add your own sentence and rephrase it. Okay, this is the data, the methodology that I mentioned just now. So what database that you use? So you mention it here and why. You must give the reason. Okay, if you have more than one, then should be yeah, good enough lah if you have more than one. And then scopus, you mention everything, the step from the first step until whatever that you did just now. Okay, data do you have the data cleaning process or data extractions? How many documents that you got in total? Semua ni. Okay, and then the data analysis, you mentioned about the software that you use to analyze the data, and what, for example, that VOS viewer, what type of analysis that you use, you generalize from the WAS, and what type of analysis that you have done using the hazings. All right, and of course the final step is the interpretation. Okay, this is the sample of the flowchart for the research strategy. You start with the topic. Okay, you may type the very general topic. Okay, your topic is, for example, this one, and then you have the coverage. Maybe this one is we call a filter, or you refine. Okay, so you use corpus, but you want only the article only. Okay, you want article only, and you want the data from which year to which year only, or you want to cover all. It's up to you. Okay, and language, you want all language, or you want it to be in English only, it's up to you. All right, if let's say for the language you put English only, so then when you want to analyze in terms of this one just now, this one, you cannot do lah, because you choose all in English. That's why for bibliometric analysis type of paper, normally the researcher will leave it as all. Okay, because kita nak tengok kan, most of the studies in this related to this topic, dia buat in what language. Okay, so date of extracted, okay, as I mentioned just now, in the morning, you must when you, for example, you extract information on 3rd August, so on 4th August or 5th August, mungkin the end here, the total number of documents will increase. Okay, so kita kena tengok lah. So if you stop from here, so you have to take the total number on that particular date. Okay, have you removed any documents? If yes, then you have to write write the number. If no, then just write 0. Okay, this one is they have erratum and duplicated. Erratum means that some paper they are the error again, and then they resubmit it, and then if appear in the scopus, they appear twice because of the erratum cases. Okay, and at the end, how many documents that you include as and that you used for bibliometric analysis. Okay, this will be the flowchart. Okay, you may include the flowchart, or if you don't want to include the flowchart, it's okay, because actually you have mentioned everything in your methods, kan? You have mentioned everything in your methods actually. Tapi if you include the flowchart, it will be better. Okay. Okay, this is the results. As I mentioned just now, you must discuss the results in accordance with your research objective. Okay, you have 3 research objectives, then you have to discuss in 3 subsections for the results. Okay, for results just now, we have, tengok balik okay, research evolution. Okay, you have 3 major top result analysis, all right? So, in your paper, you discuss macam tu juga, okay? So, table 1 is, this is about document types. So, you elaborate. This is just the elaborate, and you elaborate every table, every table you must elaborate it. Same goes to whatever chart, whatever graph that you have, you must evaluate. So you present the results based in accordance with your research objective or the RQ. All right. Okay. Sample, So if you want to start, for example, it's good to start with this because this is the simplest one. Okay, and then you may, after you have done following this template and you have done everything, then you may refer to Satish Kumar's paper, and then you buatlah adjustment sikit. All right. So this is the basic that you must have in the bibliometric analysis type of paper. Okay. So you present the results. All right. You just follow it. Okay. Same goes to this. I have taught you how to calculate the Google Scholar site, how to take the number here and how to calculate the sites per year. Right. Okay, in the discussion, what should you include? So I have divided into paragraph by paragraph. So the first one is relate to the objectives. If you have tier 3, then you have it's good to have 3 paragraphs. 1 paragraph for 1 objective in terms of the discussion. And then you include the implication. If you want to discuss about implication and limitation, you may include here. And if you have any suggestion, yes, you must suggest, of course. And you end with the contributions or novelty of your research. Okay, done. So references, that's it. Okay, this is the template. I have the template. Actually, I want to share with all of you. So if you want to start writing your paper, you may start using this template, and then you compare whatever that you have here with the papers that have been written by the expert. Okay. I'm not the expert, but since I know, I just share whatever that I know to write this type of paper. Okay. So you compare your paper with the expert. For example, like the Satish, if the international Satish lah. If in Malaysia, the expert is ID Ami lah. Okay. He's a lecturer from UUM. Okay. So you may refer to his paper as well. So I will share everything here. Just that kejap lagi lah, I share with Dr. Asma. Okay, is there any question? I'm going too fast. Soalan tak?
Doktor.
Yes.
Sorry, tanya lagi.
Okay.
Masa nak buat bibliometrik ni, pernah buat. Tapi dia jadi murung.
Jadi
sebab
apa?
jadi kemurungan.
Kenapa?
Sebab paper tu, topik yang kita buat tu, dia punya result dia
tak cantik.
Tak banyak. Macam kita nak tengok topik tu, dia macam jadi tak menarik hasil daripada kita buat semua-semua tu. So kadang kita minat benda tu, tapi dia
okay, adakah because tak banyak documents?
Satu tak banyak dokumen, satu lagi bila tengok intention macam saya tengah buat PhD kan. Topik yang saya buat tu macam saya kadang-kadang jadi murung lah bila tengok kadang-kadang paper terlalu sikit. Lepas tu bila nak sembang benda tu macam tak boleh nak come out dengan nak discuss tu tak ada.
Okay. If
boleh.
not so many documents, okay, if it is less than 50 documents, okay, if based on the suggestion from the expert, if less than 50 documents, it's better to do the SLR tu. Buat terus SLR instead of the bibliometric analysis.
Oh, so tak payah buat biblio, buat lah.
If it is less than 50.
Alright. Okay.
If it is less than 50, it's good for your study. It means that you have scope yang sangat luas lah for you to study on that particular topic. Sebab tak ramai orang buat kan?
Ya lah, yang tak ramai tu masalah tu. Nak site. Betul. Susah sikit.
Okay. So if I were you, I will do a qualitative type of study first. Okay. And you get the data from qualitative study, then if you want to proceed with the quantitative, then it's okay. But if kalau tak banyak data, it's better to do a qualitative type of study. It's okay, not so many citations. That's why you know, Dr. Oti Osman Talib, he's always mentioned about why people keep mentioning about must have a lot of citation. Who said so? If you can prove by doing observation or by doing interviews, for example, why not, right? Because that is your study. No, not enough citation, then you have to go do a field work. At least buat interview ke, get the first-hand data.
Okay.
All right. Any more? Any more questions?
Jika peserta boleh ajukan pertanyaan di ruang chat box kita.
All right. I think no more question. Maybe because all of you faham semua, or tak faham. I believe all of you understand it. Right? Okay. Do you know how to take picture? Macam mana? Macam mana nak ambil gambar to cover everyone? Anyone knows? Can everyone turn on?
Saya boleh tolong ambilkan gambar.
Oh, dah nak habis dah?
Faizal ada soalan lagi?
Oh, tak ada dah. Cuma saya harap dapat slide dengan tu lah, template tu.
Yes. I want to share. Dari tadi lagi I nak share. But I don't know how to share. But it's okay. Dr. Asma will share with all of you.
Nanti saya akan emailkan ke
based on attendance link tu.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, can everyone turn on your video? Your camera?
Zara, boleh tak jadikan layout ni supaya semua nampak? Zara? Saya pun tak tahu nak tukarkan dia punya layout ni. Nampak sikit.
Faham? Macam mana nak suruh nampak semua?
Nampak semua. Setakat ni saya ambil nampak beberapa je.
Anyone tahu tak macam mana?
Saya nampak dalam 10, 20, 25.
25. Kita ada berapa ni?
Dalam lebih kot. Saya tapi tak ramai yang buka kamera ni.
Try buka.
Kita ambil yang ada je.
Alright.
Okay, tak nampak pula muka saya kat situ. Dah tertutup dengan handphone.
Ada.
Tak apalah. Kita tumpang glamour Dr. Hafizah je. Okay, okay, saya sebut 1, 2, 3. Lupa pula. Lupa ada yang tak senyum. Okay, 1, 2, 3, senyum. Okay, terima kasih kepada tak ada soalan ya sebelum saya menghabiskan sesi kita petang ni. Bagus sih, sudah bagus semua ni. Okay, saya mewakili UiTM, para peserta, ucapkan penghargaan pada Dr. Hafizah lah kerana sudi menerima jemputan kami dan share ilmu dan pengetahuan doktor yang telah dikongsi bersama daripada pagi sehingga ke petang. Terima kasih sangat. Khususnya daripada UiTM dan juga bahagian penyelidikan dan jaringan industri masyarakat dan alumni dan juga Fakulti Pengurusan Perniagaan lah. Terima kasih doktor, sehingga kita jumpa lagi.
Thank you.